Let's be honest, local government meetings don't exactly scream excitement. But what if I told you that one single city council meeting from back in 2005 holds this incredible story about power, community, and how massive decisions can be made in just 30 minutes? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into.
So that's the big question, right? Can half an hour really be enough to alter a city's future? We're about to break down this one specific meeting, decision by decision, to see just how much groundwork can be laid when the clock is ticking.
Okay, so our story kicks off in Gardendale, Alabama. The date is January 17th, 2005, and what looks like a totally routine city council meeting is about to get underway.
So let's paint a picture of the room. You've got Gardendale City Hall. There are 7 officials, the mayor, 5 council members, and a clerk. And out in the audience, there are about 23 people. And get this, 10 of them were Boy Scouts, probably there to earn a merit badge. You know, a pretty standard night for local politics.
But here's the first thing that makes you go, The entire meeting, from the moment it started to the moment they adjourned, took only 30 minutes. And what they managed to cram into that half hour is, frankly, pretty staggering.
So, what can you really get done in 30 minutes? Well, as we're about to see, if you're the Gardendale City Council in 2005, you can get a lot done. The first item on the agenda was a bid for prisoner meals. The mayor took one look, decided a single bid wasn't good enough, and asked for more options. The council just nodded along. A small moment, sure, but it shows who's leading the charge. Then came something you'd think would stir up some debate: a liquor license. The person observing this meeting was actually expecting a whole discussion about underage drinking and all that, but nope, it was approved in a flash, with just one person voting no. That's really fast. And the pace just kept up. In that same 30-minute window, they created 2 brand new city jobs, they bought land for a stormwater pond, they approved the purchase of 3 new trucks, they got rid of old police cars, and this is the big one, they gave the green light to a massive new development called Caulfield Square. All of this with basically zero discussion.
So when you see decisions being made that quickly, you just have to ask, who's really running the show here? And that brings us to the power dynamics in that room.
It's the classic question, isn't it? You've got a mayor, a council, the public, but is power actually shared, or does it sit with one person? Let's see what our observer saw. The observer put a name to what was happening: position power. It's pretty straightforward. It's the authority that comes with a title. Your business card says mayor, and that title carries weight. In this meeting, it carried all the weight.
I mean, this quote from the meeting's observer, April Robertson, just says it all. When he talked, everyone listened. The analysis was crystal clear. The mayor laid out the plan, and the council just followed. No debate, no questions. He was in complete control. But power wasn't the only interesting thing going on. There is this small human interaction during the liquor license part of the meeting that revealed a whole different kind of challenge.
Okay, so let's rewind to that liquor license application. The men who came forward to present their case were 2 brothers, Yunus and Abed Saleh. It was their turn to speak directly to the council.
And right away, there was a problem. The observer noted that because the brothers had heavy accents, the council members were having a hard time understanding them. And it got worse. She wrote that it was obvious some of them just tuned the brothers out. They just checked out.
So you're thinking, okay, this is a problem. Maybe they'll postpone the vote, ask for a written statement, something. But incredibly, no. Even with some members not really paying attention, the council just went ahead and approved their application almost immediately. It really makes you wonder what was actually driving their decisions that night. So let's connect these dots. How does a line of text in the meeting minutes, a resolution, actually become a real thing on Main Street? Let's take a closer look at that Caulfield Square development. On paper, the language is so bureaucratic, right? Authorize a development agreement. But in the real world, that single vote gave the go-ahead for a project that would bring condos, a movie theater, a bowling alley, and new restaurants to Gardendale. It completely transformed the town. And you can see this incredible ripple effect. The vote leads to construction. The construction leads to this new community center. And that center actually had a positive impact in people's health. The observer, who was a nursing student, pointed out that it meant residents spent less time stuck in traffic driving to Birmingham for entertainment. And that meant more time with family, which is great for psychosocial health. All of that from one vote in a 30-minute meeting.
Okay, so why are we so focused on this one meeting in a small Alabama city from over a decade ago? What's the big lesson for us today?
Well, the observer gave the meeting a 10 out of 10 for civility.
There was no yelling, no arguments, everyone was polite. But, and this is a really crucial point, civility is not the same thing as debate. A meeting can be perfectly pleasant while massive decisions are being pushed through with little or no public discussion.
And this all led the observer to a really powerful conclusion. After watching it all go down, the power, the speed, the impact, her biggest takeaway wasn't about policy. It was personal. It was the realization that she needed to show up and get involved. And that really leaves us with one last thought. This whole story, it's not just about Gardendale in 2005. It's a perfect case study for what happens in towns and cities everywhere. The decisions that will define your community for the next 20 years might be getting made right now in a quiet, polite, and very, very short meeting. The real question is, who's making those decisions for you?